Y esta mañana platiqué con Tom Vilsack, exsecretario de Agricultura de Estados Unidos durante la administración de Barack Obama y presidente y director general del Consejo de Exportación de Lácteos en Estados Unidos, sobre los beneficios del USMCA para la industria y los retos comerciales para el sector lácteo. Vilsack aseguró que esta es una oportunidad para preservar un mercado muy importante, que es el mexicano, que es el número 1 para ellos, y para tener mayor acceso al mercado canadiense. Vamos a escucharlo.
Well, for far too long, the Canadian market has been closed not just to U.S. dairy, but to all dairy throughout the world. They have a supply management system in Canada which has basically benefited the Canadian dairy producers, but has penalized the dairy consumers in Canada with higher prices. Additional market access across a wide range of products has been given under this agreement. It's not a lot of market access, but it's more than the U.S. would have received under the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement that was reached some time ago. That's good news. The elimination of Class 7 was very important to the U.S. dairy industry because this was a mechanism being used by the Canadian dairy industry to essentially create the ability of the Canadian dairy industry to put milk powder on the world market at below world prices in a subsidized way. This basically eliminates that. It gives them, there's restrictions on how much they can export, and that should bring greater stability overall to the powder market, which will benefit not just U.S. Dairy producers, but also producers in Mexico and around the world.
Tom Vilsack también habló del interés en tratados comerciales con otros países, pero aseguró que la prioridad de Estados Unidos en estos momentos debe ser solucionar los problemas arancelarios con diversos países.
Well, we do, but first and foremost, I think that the attention of our administration needs to be on resolving the steel and aluminum issues, which have resulted in retaliatory tariffs being assessed by Mexico against U.S. dairy products. We'd like to see that ultimately be part of an overall better relationship between the two countries, and we're hopeful that our government can work with the Mexican government to find resolution to those issues that have caused these tariffs to be assessed. That would give us a complete market access, if you will, and without the tariffs to the Mexican market. In the meantime, we also hope, by virtue of the fact that this agreement has finally been reached, that our trade representative will have the time not only to continue to promote bilateral discussions with countries like Japan, the United Kingdom, the EU, the Philippines, and others, but also potentially begin the very serious negotiations and discussions that need to take place with China to get a resolution in a more fair and balanced trading system with China.
El presidente del Consejo de Exportación de Lácteos también nos platicó sobre el impacto económico que podrían tener los productores de lácteos en Estados Unidos si continúa la guerra arancelaria.
Well, we've calculated specifically the retaliatory tariffs in Mexico have essentially eliminated the financial advantage that the U.S. dairy industry has had relative to the Mexican market versus their competitors. We still have a logistical and relationship advantage, I think, which will carry us through until our governments can reach resolution of this issue. The China situation is a much different situation. We had great momentum building in that market with U.S. dairy. That momentum has been halted, and we are seeing very little trade in dairy products now in China. What trade we are seeing is a result of companies making the decision to absorb the tariffs for the time being. If this thing drags on, we have a study that suggests that it could be as much as $12 billion of revenue that will be lost to dairy producers and processors in the U.S. If these retaliatory tariffs and this tariff war continues for a long period of time.
Y a pesar de que Estados Unidos, México y Canadá llegaron a un acuerdo en términos comerciales, el exsecretario de Agricultura estadounidense dijo que un gran reto será la implementación del USMCA, además de seguir expandiéndose a otros mercados en América Latina y el Caribe.
We have to look at the implementation of the agreements. In the past, we've had promises from Canada of additional market access only to find that they use mechanisms to prevent that access from being utilized. The Class 7 also has been replaced with a new pricing system with some terms that have yet to be defined, so we want to make sure that we fully understand how this is going to work, this new pricing system, so that we aren't in a situation where we've replaced one pricing system for another that simply creates the same kind of troubles and challenges we had before.
Pues esta es la plática que tuvimos con Tom Vilsack esta mañana, exsecretario de Agricultura estadounidense y CEO del US Dairy Export Council.